Absolutely. Yeah, my name is Jenny Hurt. I am the Assistant Director of Recruiting here at Northwest Mississippi Community College. I came to Northwest as a student right out of high school and loved it, had a great education, and just stuck around. So I'm excited to tell you more about Northwest today.
All right, thank you. So when you finally get that moment where you've convinced a student that they need to apply at Northwest, how do they go about doing it? So how do they fill out the application? Is there a date every fall that a brand new application opens up, or is it kind of rolling? Just walk us through the whole process.
Sure. We have a rolling application, and it is a free application. So it doesn't cost the student anything to apply. You just go to our website, which is northwestms.edu. And up at the top of the website, there's a little button that says apply now. And you just go through that application process of filling out, your personal information, and it will send it to us. And then once we have that application, you'll get an email back. The student will with a student ID number, as well as some login information to kind of help them through the rest of the enrollment process.
Okay. And then for a student to complete an application, they need to send transcripts and test scores. Anything else?
Absolutely. Yeah. Once they know that Northwest is definitely where they want to go, we'll just need to make sure that we have that completed application. We'll send over, get their ACT scores. There are no minimum scores to be accepted to the college. We usually just use the ACT score for placement. If a student has a 12 on their ACT in math, of course, we don't want them to jump straight into a college algebra class. So we'll kind of use those scores as far as placement goes. And then, of course, if there's a specific career tech program that a student's wanting to participate in, certain programs do have specific ACT minimums, but for the most part, no. But we will get the ACT scores, and then we'll get the transcripts from their high school or GED scores. And if they've previously gone to another college, we'll get that college transcript as well.
Okay. And then I know this happens a lot for community college applications. Sometimes you have students that are already possibly in the system. They may have taken a dual enrollment class through their high school. How do those applications get handled? Does a student that's enrolled in dual enrollment have to reapply? Do they just update their application? How does that work?
Yeah, if there's a student that's a dual student, they're already a Northwest Ranger. So we usually will have them update an application. We'll make sure that, if they need to change their major, or if taking a dual class, if they decided to maybe go a different route, we'll just get them to update that application and then get their GED or their high school transcript, and their ACT score sent over.
Okay, perfect. And then for students, once they submit their ACT scores, is there a certain number that they need to be at to guarantee academic scholarship money?
We have different scholarships, based on your ACT score. So, but we do have, it doesn't necessarily matter if you have a 19 or below. If you have a B high school average, we'll get a letter of recommendation sent in, and you could receive up to $550 towards your tuition.
Okay.
And we also have one based on ACT scores that if it's a 20 to a 23, you could receive $800. A 24 through a 27 will get you $1,600, which is our full tuition. And then a 28 or above will get you tuition, room, and board. So that's $3,325. So it's not necessarily you have to have a certain ACT score to receive a scholarship, but our presidential and leadership scholarships, those do depend on your ACT score. But again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a certain number.
Okay. Does it have a GPA component as well, or is it strictly ACT?
It's strictly ACT on those. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then for that, are you using a highest composite or a super score?
We do a highest composite. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. We do have other, we have foundation scholarships as well that you can apply for. It's all the same application. And that application is open now. It starts October 1st of the student's senior year. And so October 1st through April 1st is when they can apply for that for scholarships. So that leadership and presidential are the ones that are based on your ACT score. And those, of course, can be, vary in how much you get. And then the foundation scholarships, there's over 700 different scholarships that students can receive. But again, it is all the same application. So you just fill out one app, and then we have a committee that assigns students which one would be the best for them.
Okay. That's a nice change. I used to work out of our South Haven office, and it was multiple applications that a student had to complete. So now that it's all consolidated, that's really nice.
Yeah.
And you said it aligns with FAFSA opening date. Opens
Yes,
October
it does.
1st and then runs through April 1st to get in that application.
That's right. Yep.
So you mentioned foundation. Are there any other unique scholarship opportunities, like maybe some that are audition based, band, cheer, those kinds of things? Are there scholarship dollars with those activities?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have tons of performance based. So all of our sports, our fine arts, we have a choir, band, even art majors, if they can submit some artwork and receive scholarships as well based on those.
Okay. And then also FAFSA helps students typically pay for school. We have a lot of students that use either grants or federal loans to pay for school. Is it required for all students to have a FAFSA on file?
Yes.
Okay, so any student going to Northwest, you've got to have a FAFSA on file.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we do have certain students, if they know they just want to pay cash, then they can. Otherwise, yes, if you're applying for a scholarship or if you want to be considered for a scholarship, we have to have a FAFSA on file.
Okay. Is there a priority date that y'all ask students to have that completed?
We try to have everybody done by April 1st. Of course, it doesn't happen. So even during, registration in the fall, we can always, help them through that process. And if they need help, filling out their FAFSA, we're more than willing to help them do that. It really at any time.
Okay. Speaking of the fall semester, another question I meant to ask you earlier in our AC discussion, is there a date that y'all will stop accepting an ACT score for scholarship consideration?
No, it can be anytime.
So they could take the July test after they
Yes.
graduate and all of a sudden they increase by 3 or 4 points. They can send that to y'all and get a new updated scholarship offer potentially.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why you would want to test in the summer after you graduate, but some students, they're determined to get that score up and they want to. So
yeah.
I know that historically housing at Northwest has gone very quickly. Is it still something that y'all encourage students to complete quickly, get your application in on time if you want to live on campus?
Absolutely. Yeah. Our housing is
Okay.
a first come, first serve basis. So I always try to tell seniors in high school, if you know, or even if you think you may want to live on campus, to go ahead and fill out an application and mail in your deposit. And if you decide not to live on campus, that's okay. But it is first come, first serve. So I always try to tell everybody, get it in as soon as possible.
Is there a certain date that it opens as well? Or is it kind of always out there?
It's kind of always out there. But,
Okay.
we even have juniors in high school. Once they, if they know they want to come to Northwest, they'll go ahead and apply then too. So it is kind of an ongoing thing. There's not really a deadline for it. Just the sooner, the better.
Okay. And then for students that maybe are unaware of different pathways at community colleges, could you just explain briefly, how a community college helps students no matter what they want to do, whether it's university transfer route, it's career and technical education, and everyone just gets a certificate, just the different pathways a student could take at Northwest?
Sure. Yeah. So we really have 3 main pathways at Northwest. We have academic, health sciences, and career tech. And so our academic would be, a general college student. If you don't know what you want to do when you get to college, that's okay. You can come and be a general college student. Business is a popular one. All of our humanities like education, liberal arts, mathematics, if you want to be an engineer, social sciences like criminal justice, psychology, social work. All of those are academic pathways. We also have our health sciences, which would be our EMT program, funeral services tech, nursing. We have one of the best nursing programs in the state. We have a surgical tech program that's really blossoming and really growing a lot. And then we also have career tech pathways. So we have a John Deere program for anyone that's interested in working out on tractors or on any type of John Deere equipment. We have a HVAC, precision manufacturing, welding, cosmetology is a real popular one. One of our newest one is our utility lineman program that's offered at our Olive Branch campus. It's only a 6-week program. So all of our career techs are great for any student that's not interested in going to college more than 2 years. If they know they don't want a bachelor's degree, they just want to go learn some skills and go to work making money. I would highly consider them to look into the career tech programs that we offer. Like I said, that utility lineman is only 6 weeks. It's very competitive, but it has 100% job placement at the end of that 6 weeks, and you're making closer to $75,000 starting out, which is huge. So, and that's only 6 weeks of education. So we do have something for everybody, either in that academic, health science, or career tech pathway. So I would highly encourage anybody to, look at our website, call us, and we'll be happy to talk to them, show them, give them a tour of any of the programs they'd be interested in.
Okay. Are there any new programs on campus? Utility lineman you mentioned was new. Do y'all have a new health program that is maybe new in the last few years, or it's either coming to campus?
Yes. Yeah. Our physical therapy assistant program is new.
Okay.
It's in the first semester. That's here on the Senatobia campus. It's a 4-semester program, but at the end of the 4 semesters, they're a physical therapy assistant. So they're let's see what else. Our diesel technology is on our Batesville campus. Northwest has renovated the old mall right there off the Batesville campus. And so that's where our diesel technology program is. And it's a great program for anybody that's interested in working on 18-wheelers, all that diesel tech. Again, it's one of our career tech programs, but it's a great opportunity for students to come in, get an education, and jump straight into the workforce making good money.
I would assume that's probably about 100% job placement too,
Yes.
right now out of that program with all the truck shortages and industry disruptions. People are begging people to work on trucks.
Yes. And we do have a lot of more start dates. Some of our programs, just start in the fall, but especially in our health sciences, a lot of them now have spring start dates or summer start dates, which is good too. So that's just, we're able to, to get more students and accept more students into the programs that they're interested in.
Okay. So for students, I know when I was in South Haven's office, we worked so closely with Northwest. It is a very active campus for students. There's a lot to do. It's a really active community college campus. So what are some of the activities and organizations that students can get involved in?
Yeah, we've got a ton of clubs and organizations for students. And it doesn't matter what campus you're on. Of course, our main campus is here in Senatobia, but we have, the DeSoto Center in South Haven. There's an Oxford campus. No matter where you're at, even if you're an online student, you can still be enrolled in a club or organization. So we have like an autism support group. We have a new group this year that is called My Brother's Keeper. That's for young men who are interested in leadership roles. Our Pathfinders they're like an elite student organization of student recruiters who will help us go into high schools. They lead our campus tours for us. There's book clubs, honor societies, student government association. We have a group called Service Rangers who just go out into the community and do community service. So any student that loves nonprofit work or helping others, we have something for everybody. So of course we have our religious groups like Baptist Student Union, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Fellowship of Christian Students. There's just something for everybody. And all of those groups and organizations are on our website.
Okay. What are some of the resources to help students transition to college life and make sure they, make a smooth transition, they do well in the classroom, they're kind of learning to be a little more independent. So, whether it's health services, whether it's tutoring services, do y'all have, library support? Like, what are some of those resources on campus?
Yeah, we have a student success center for students that includes our disability services. So if there are any students that have documented disabilities, we can help students get back and forth from campus. We do placement testing. So if a student, comes in and they think that they're ready for a college algebra class, even though their ACT score isn't that great, we can do some placement testing and see if they're ready for that class. We do counseling. We have mental health counseling for students. It's free. We do tutoring. We have a math lab and a writing center. We have military and veteran services, tech support galore. All of our campuses have computer labs and libraries. There's also fitness centers on the Senatobia and DeSoto campus, soon to be Oxford campus too. So students in between classes, if they have some time to kill, if they want to go and work out in one of the gyms, they can. Trio is a great it's a great service for students if they're a first-time college student. If they're neither one of their parents went to college, Trio is something that's free to students that includes academic tutoring. There's advice and assistance and course selection. We do transfer assistant to four-year colleges. There's peer mentoring. There's some grant aids for those students as well, which is great. So if you are a first-time college student and your parents didn't go, I would definitely look into that TRIO program because there's tons of resources for you.
So this has all been really helpful, whether it's a student watching this or it's being used in a classroom with a teacher or counselor, but anything else that we haven't talked about that you think would be beneficial for someone, maybe looking at Northwest or teaching students about Northwest?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we definitely have something for everybody. Northwest is such we're a big campus, but we have close to 7,000 students. But it's definitely a home type feel. So no matter what class you're at, your teachers are going to know you by name. You're not going to just be another number. For me, I know I went to Ole Miss after I graduated from Northwest, and it was a huge difference. And a lot of students just aren't quite ready for a four-year college, and that's okay. Northwest is a great close to home option. We do serve 11 counties in North Mississippi. And so it's a great way for students, if you have to go to college, but you also have to work, it's a great place for you to be able to go to class, get your education, but also be able to go to work as well and make money. A lot of our students have children or have to support a family. And so we understand that work is important too. So we do have a new female dorm on campus. So if girls are interested in living on campus, we have a brand new one that just opened called Calhoun Dorm that's gorgeous. Each room has its own bathroom, which is really important for girls. We have a new softball and soccer complex on our campus, which is being built. We have a new performing arts center that's going to hopefully open next fall. That's gorgeous. It will have a new band hall in it. It's going to have a recording studio, which is going to allow us to offer lots of like music industry type majors and pathways. So we're really excited about that. Northwest is just a great opportunity for you to go far close to home. So I would encourage all of my teachers, potential students to come and tour, let us, show you campus, talk to you about things. Any teachers or counselors, we'd be happy to come to your college and talk to your senior English classes or college and career readiness classes, and just let students know that we're an option. Because we do know that, four-year college is not always for everybody. But Northwest, definitely has something for everybody.